If you have ongoing exposure to controlling people, it's a virtual certainty that you're going to experience blurry boundaries, which is why I've created the extensive online course called This Is Me, Establishing Boundaries with the Controllers in Your Life. There's a link below that will give you all of the details, and I hope that you would find it therapeutic. Let's begin today with the reminder that narcissists have an insatiable need to be in control over you. They have a desperate need to be on the high end of any kind of relationship. It's like they have a compensation need. They have a fear for being deemed as less than, and this goes way back into their personal lives. And as a result, they're constantly thinking in terms of who's superior and who's inferior. Who's correct, who's incorrect, who's on the in crowd, who's on the out crowd, who's desirable, who's not desirable. And of course, you know, they have to be on the top end of all of those kind of dichotomies. And as a result, they fail to come to terms with some of the inner damage and inner tension that they carry around on the inside, thinking, wait a minute, why do I think like that? Why do I feel the need to do that toward other individuals? They don't have that kind of insight capacity at all. They just simply inflict pain on you, and in their own perverted way, they think, well, that means they're winning. Now, to add insult to injury, many times narcissism can be accompanied by sociopathic tendencies. And when we talk about that, we talk about how they not only have a disregard for you and your needs and your feelings, but they have a broad general disregard for societal norms. And it's like those norms and rules and regulations for everybody else, they don't apply to me. And as a result, they go through their engagements, including with you, with a sense that says, I make up the rules as I go along, and you just have to go along with it. And if you don't, I'm going to make you pay. And so one of the things that we see is these sociopathic narcissists are just setting you up for pain as you engage with them. Now, I want to go through multiple indicators that you're dealing with somebody who has sociopathic tendencies, because it's so important for you to know what you're dealing with, because this is a situation where there's not good interpersonal solution. So, for example, let's look at some of those. First and foremost, when we look at somebody that has strong sociopathic tendencies, these are individuals who have a chronic, and I mean chronic, attitude of entitlement. Look, here's what I need. Here's what I say that I want. And whenever I want something, I get it. What are you going to do for me to make things happen according to my preferences and cravings and desires? That entitlement is a lead feature with them. In addition, they're more than just critical toward you or other individuals. They take delight, frankly, in belittling other individuals, and they'll go straight to the character. Rather than saying, hey, I didn't like the way you handled this project, they're going to say something like, you are such a fool, you're such a this or that, and they go into deep insulting mode. That's another signal that you're dealing with somebody whose conscience is rather seared. In addition, they're very dismissive regarding your legitimacy. Now, whether we're talking about the legitimacy of your feelings, the legitimacy of the priorities that you live with, the legitimacy of the accomplishments that you've had in your life, it's like none of that matters, because you don't matter. The only person that matters in this room is me. And so anything that you bring that you might say, hey, pay attention to this, it's like, nope, I don't do that. They have, and this next one is a strong feature of sociopathy. They have almost a complete disregard for rules or accountability. What applies to everyone else doesn't apply to them, which is why they're willing to lie or cheat or bend norms, because it's like, well, the norms might be for you, but I'm special, I'm unique. That being the case, they tend not to learn. And when I say they tend not to learn, there's almost a pathological unwillingness to learn from their mistakes. It's like they have no conscience. And in fact, sociopaths are known for having a very minimally developed conscience. Likewise, because of that, they are masters at blame shifting. If there's something wrong and they're so self-impressed and they have such a need for control, it's like, well, there's not a chance that I'm going to admit my vulnerabilities. And so they go into the blaming and accusing of other individuals. They won't confront their woes. You just made them feel miserable. They have no sympathy for people who struggle. And I find that whether it's on inside a family or societally at large, it's like, I don't care about people who hurt. They're not me. And I don't care if I've done something that creates it. Well, they probably did something to earn it or deserve it. That's how they operate. And so when you're in the presence of someone like that, you realize that this person is not a kind soul at all. Now, another feature is the way they manage money. Often you'll find one extreme or the other when we're dealing with sociopaths. They're either extremely rigid in the way that money has to be maintained, and they're the ones that cause all the shots with that. Often they're very secretive in the way that they manage their money. Or on the other extreme, they can just spend moneyishly, lavishly, like it's going out of style, that there's no tomorrow, because it's all about the pleasure of the moment. But their money management habits often are a tip-off of what you're dealing with. Also, sociopaths have a deep history of being a bully, or using intimidation toward other individuals, or mocking. Now, sometimes they're the overt variety where they just come on real strong, and other times they can be a bully by having all sorts of passive-aggressive withholding of efforts and affections and things like that. Either way, it's meant to intimidate and belittle you. Likewise, these sociopathic individuals have an ongoing undertow of pessimism and contempt, especially when they encounter people that just are not anywhere close to the same, I want to say values, principles, well, not even principles, you know what I'm saying, the same inclinations as they have. They just hold contempt towards people, and it comes out very quickly. Also, these people prioritize retaliation over reconciliation. Healthy people, when you differ, it's like, how can you and I know each other better? With the sociopath, it's like, when we differ, how can I run you into the ground and make you sorry that you ever disagreed with me? Sociopaths are looking for trouble, and inevitably, they find it. And when you're connected with them, you're connected with somebody who is going to generate all sorts of strain and difficulty. Up front, they might be able to hide this a little bit, but typically the deeper they are into their sociopathy, it doesn't take much to bring it out. These individuals have an absence of love in their life. They have little to no conception of what love is, and love is such a multifaceted characteristic. They show very poor self-restraint, especially when they are angered. Their anger can be ferocious. It can be vicious. They have a sense of fluidity regarding morality. It's whatever they want it to be today. If being a nice boy or girl today suits them, okay. But tomorrow it's like, well, the rules that applied yesterday, they don't particularly apply today. And so it just kind of comes and goes based on their need or their circumstances. They have a very low appreciation for goodness or kindness, unless they might think that they'll do something nice for their own personal benefit. They have little appreciation for the power of encouragement and uplifting people. It's like, nah, that's for weaklings. So I mentioned to you that there are narcissists who have to be in control, and then there are narcissists who have to be in control with this sociopathic bent. And it's so important for you to realize that this is a well-established pattern that we know about, we see, we can measure it. And if you are engaged with somebody who has this inclination, the future of that relationship is minimal at best. I've had so many stories. I've heard so many stories through the years of people inside a family situation where that sociopathic person just runs everybody into the ground, or it may be in an organization, whether we're talking about politics where we have to go along with somebody who's going to run you into the ground if you don't agree, or religious situations where you have to stay in with the defined regulations that they have, or organizations, or when you're dating, you begin realizing, hey, I'm picking up on some of these kind of tendencies. I mean, it can be very broad-based in terms of where you're going to find it. Now, I know that it sounds quite pessimistic, particularly for a guy like me that's in the change business, to say that some people are beyond redemption. But when you have this sociopathic addition to the already narcissistic inclinations, you're dealing with somebody who is not likely to change at all. So keep in mind, you're under no obligation to comply with them. You're under no obligation to plead your case, and by all means, you don't want to become a partner in crime when they begin asking you to join them in their efforts to undermine other individuals. Stake your ground. It's called boundaries, and it's called your own principles and standards. Know what the signs are, and know that that if you're engaging with these people, the smartest thing you can do is look for the exit. Because these folks they will create pain, they will hurt you. Like I say, they think in win-lose terms. And so just know that they don't understand what we on Team Healthy understand. You know my mantra, Dr. C, DRC stands for dignity, respect, and civility. They have low regard for that, but I want you to have a regard for that. And specifically, I want you to apply those healthy standards to yourself and move beyond to join with individuals who do know what healthy living is like. And I hope this gives you some good insight into what you're dealing with. And if you've not already hit that subscribe button, I would encourage you to do so. We have that notification bell, and we'll keep more videos coming your way. Very commonly, when you're dealing with somebody like this, or you've been hurt with someone like this, you could use some therapeutic intervention. And we have, if you have a person in your immediate place that you can seek therapy with, and certainly I would encourage that. If not, we have our sponsor that provides online therapy. And we have a link below. I've received good feedback from them, and I strongly encourage that you get some good encouragement and insight and understanding of boundaries with such people. So, like I say, there's a link below if you need that. In addition, we have my courses. This is me about setting boundaries with controllers, free to be, finding yourself despite the controllers. We also have our webinars, books, and other resources below. I know that you've heard that word sociopath, but I hope that you can at least have a good understanding of what it is. And when you see the signs, run. When you see the signs, put up your boundaries as strong as you can, because I don't want you to be hurt. That being the case, that being said, I want you to be a kind of person that knows who you are. You have your steady principles, and you have your lifestyle practices that you'll stick with. I'm hoping that you can be a person that finds your own sense of peace.